Okay, so here's the thing. In the last video, I talked about multiple personality disorder or dissociative identity disorder. Let's think about that for a minute. Let's use our I know I assume most adults have partaken of alcoholic beverages, right? I mean, every kid turns 18, he wants to go out and get drunk and celebrate and blah, 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 blah. And no, you don't need to come over here right now. What are you doing? You are not my... Man, are you serious? Here, come here, man. Come here, man. This is Smokey, by the way. Smokey, say hey. Say hey. All right. When you get drunk, you change, right? A lot of people have, they say that, oh, when he gets drunk, he acts like, whatever. Some people get happy, some people get sad, some people get violent. It's a trigger. Some people say, oh, it's a chemical reaction. Whatever it is, when you drink alcohol, the cats are in something, it changes you and it brings out another personality, right? Well, where does that personality come from? It's a different you. It's a trigger, and it pulls out a different personality. I have to go in there and take care of that here in just a second. Oh my gosh. They're getting restless. They need to go out. Come here, man. Come on, jump on up here. Oh. Oh my goodness. Jump up here and say hello. Excuse me. He's got to get up here for a second. Jump up. Oomph. Come on, baby. Oomph. You want up? Oh. This is Noki. This is my baby. This is one of the 5. Okay. So, if you are indeed just becoming a jerk off or just a crazy, funny drunk, whatever it is, your personality definitely changes. And that personality has to come from somewhere. Where is it coming from? It means there's more personalities inside you that sometimes they're dormant. They lay dormant. And it takes a trigger like alcohol or drugs or whatever to bring them out. We have more than one personality. And that's just one way of bringing them out. Or bringing out some that you don't want out. I guess people get excited over that, so they keep drinking because they think that's, oh, I'm so funny when I'm drunk. I have such a good time. I feel so good. I stopped drinking 15 years ago. Now, I did drink for about a year in that period of time because I went back to drinking again, and then I quit again. And now, I'm not one of those that says I'm just never going to have a drink. If I want to sit down and have a couple of drinks, I know my limits. You got to know your limits. So maybe every 6 months I might sit down with a family member or something and over I don't know, a birthday or Christmas or a holiday or whatever, and I might have a glass of wine or 2, but I know my limits. It's 3. Never more than 3. Ever. And it's only here at the house, and I never go anywhere else, and I don't drink. I haven't been to a nightclub in years and years and years and years and years. It doesn't interest me anymore. Plus, it's just not worth it's just not worth it. It's like, there's more to life than all that. And my life has been really much better. I lost a lot of things when I was young because of alcohol. Because it brought out a truly menacing personality of mine. It just was the rage. The rage is just unbelievable. And it would happen, and not always. Again, different personalities come out. Sometimes I'd have a great time, but 1 out of every 10 times that I got drunk, I would usually do something really bad. wreck a car, or destroy something, or just, you get the picture. So it just wasn't worth it to me anymore. Get locked up. It's just not worth it. It's really hard to explain it. A lot of things you can't prove. You just kind of go, well, that's the way it is. But I've always been somebody that has to know why things happen. I want to know why. I don't want to just go, oh, okay, that's just the way it is. I want to know why everything happens. I think we're all like that to a degree. Oh, I guess some people are, ignorance is bliss, and they don't give a shit one way or the other. And it really is. I mean, to a degree, if you just go through life oblivious, but you're happy because you're ignorant to what's going on around you, who's to say that you're not doing the right thing? Hey, if you're happy, you're happy. Again, be careful with the conspiracy theories out there. Please. And I guess that's really all I've got to say this morning. I want everybody to have a great day. Be happy. Start your day off right. And tell one person. Tell one person today how much they mean to you. Whether it's a family member, a loved one, whoever. Just tell them how much they mean to you. I've been truly blessed. I've come back. And that's something I didn't really bring out in the other videos, is that I did say that, I accepted Christ 40 years ago or so, a long time ago. Over 40 years ago. And I'll tell you, going down the rabbit hole, those distractions will lead you away from God, because they make you question God. They make you question yourself. So, be careful. Be careful. I guess that's the devil's trick, right? And if we're God, who's the devil? We are. We're everything. You can't have good without evil. It just doesn't work. Be careful. That's all I can tell you. Be good to each other. And always strive to do the best for yourself, your family, and everybody around you. And I wouldn't take much heed to what's going on right now. There's a lot of things going on right now in the world. A lot of the reason why we see it is the internet. People say the vibrations, all right, so we're getting ready for a change. Let me tell you something. They've been saying that forever. They've been saying the end of the world is coming forever. They've been saying that it's all going to end. The sky is falling, and forget it, man. Who cares? When it's over, it's over. That's it. Then you go on, and you'll see that, oh, now I get it. And you'll be like, well, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, let's do it again. It's a funny world, man, but don't let it get to you. Create your own reality. Stay out of that BS. It is insane how cruel and how evil, how mean people can be to each other. What's going on overseas right now in Israel and Palestine, they've been feuding a war. And when you get right down to it, man, you're talking a little strip of land, man. I mean, move. Go somewhere else. It's just, I don't get it. Why would you fight and everybody, you know what? I've lived in all parts of this country. I've lived a lot. Well, mainly on the southeast region of this country. I kind of, I have never gone out west to California. I've always wanted to. But if I wanted to, I can. They can too. They can get the hell out of there if they want to. Move your family and get the hell on, man. If they really don't, you know what? I never want to be someplace somebody doesn't want me. If y'all want me here, I'm going to move on. There's plenty of space. There's plenty of places to go. Pack a U-Haul and get the hell out of there. If it's that bad. That's the way I look at it. I don't know why they have to, why that land, why it's such a big, I get it, it's a religious thing, but again, how many people have unalived, I guess you're supposed to say that on YouTube. How many people have been no longer with us because of religion? You know, since the beginning of time, people have been fighting over religion and politics. It's ridiculous, dude. It is ridiculous. When the truth of it is, the truth is within you. It's here. You are religion. You are everything. So to fight over somebody else who's trying to tell you, oh, this is the way it's got to be. I said, all right, well, for you, that's fine. I have my reality. I know who I am. I don't, for a while I questioned that. I've come to I've had an epiphany. It's dawned on me what it's really all about. And I'm at peace now because of it. It took me 5 years to find it. 5 years of searching, figuring it all out. And yes, I went out there and I watched and I looked and I listened. I've listened to so many TED Talks, I'm about to pull my hair out. But you know what? I learned. You have to have discernment. You have to be able to decide what's right, what's wrong, what's true, what's not. Most of it, like I said, is just BS. It's not worth even your time. But there are people's opinions and whatnot. So you give it a, yeah, I love you. Oh, I love you. You give it a, I always do that after. I'm a germaphobe too. I wouldn't kiss a dog for a long time, my dog, but I finally said, okay, just wipe it off. Don't ever watch The Monster Inside Me. Don't ever watch that series. It's okay to study and look at things, but when they start talking about things that can get inside your body and eat you from within, man, it'll freak you out, man. Don't even watch that. That's not even, no. And I think I watched one time that said a dog could transmit, like, you know, something to you, like flesh eating, or any kind of, you know, I'm like, again, see what happens when you watch something and you go, oh my gosh, it'll get you to worry. He did for a while, that's why I never watched it again. I think I watched it once, one or two, and that was it. Never would watch that series again. I don't need that. I don't need that kind of hassle. I don't need any more, oh God, what do I worry about? So you gotta let all that go. Just let it go. And I finally did. That's why but still there's a little bit of me goes, because I'm just like, be careful. What if, I didn't even have that idea in my mind until I watched that show. You know? So it's like, be careful, man. You put ideas in, and they become your reality if you believe it. Let me give you a perfect example. If somebody says to you, they haven't seen you in a while, oh my gosh, you look like crap, man. You look sick. Your eyes are all sunken. You look, man, you could have, you might want to go to the doctor and check that out. Reject it. Reject it immediately. Reject all negativity. Anybody that says anything to you like that, just reject it. Please. Don't believe it. If you accept that and go, oh my gosh, maybe I am sick. Let me go look in a mirror. Oh no. Am I dying? Do I have a disease? Am I diabetic? Man, let it go. Don't worry about it. And I realize some people get diseases for real, and you do need to worry. You do need to go to the doctor. But again, it's up here. A lot of times diseases are caused because they go, they accept what somebody else tells them. That's why when you go to a doctor, people go to a doctor and they find out they have a terminal illness, they die within 6 months. But prior to going to the doctor, they were fine. The doctor put it in their mind, and they have so much trust in medicine and that doctor that they accept it as fact. You know, don't tell me I've got 6 months to live. I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You know, I actually did have what seemed to be a serious malady with my stomach. I lost a lot of weight. I didn't feel good. I had no strength. I started looking around online to figure out what might be wrong with me. Blah, 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 blah. Went to a doctor, did go to a doctor. He said thyroidism, hypothyroid. Anyway, I took the medicine for a while. I still am taking it, but I've cut it in half, and I probably will just stop taking it soon. Because I'm up here. I don't believe I have anything wrong with me. I don't. I believe I'm immortal. I believed that since I was 8 years old. I believed it all my life. My mother and I sat down one time, and she told me, about life, whatnot. We all die, and this, and that, and the other. And I told her, I'm not going to die. She said, what do you mean? I said, it's not for me. I'm immortal. She said, no, you're not. And I said, I am. I'm going to live forever. You can't kill me. I believed that all my life. So far, I'm right. Nothing's killed me. I have died a few times, but it was in other timelines. Yeah, once for sure. I know for sure. And there was that voice in my head that said, you better look up. I looked around my car, and there was a jackknife truck coming at me. It was jackknifed, and it took my whole car. And I just jumped over the medium to get out of the way, because I had the hood up, and I was looking in the car, and I looked around like that, and boom, that truck was coming at me. I had a split second. I dashed to the right. As I was jumping over that medium variant, that medium, I looked back, and I watched my car just go. I died that day. That was in 1993, 94, 93. I'm pretty sure in another timeline I was gone. And then I think to myself, if I was gone, how did that affect? There would have been, I have 7 children, and I think at that time 3 had been born. My wife was pregnant at the time with my 3rd. That means 4 of the children would not have been born. That means 4 of the children wouldn't have had their lives. One of them's graduated from college. One of them has given me grandchildren, and 2 grandchildren from one. And think about all these children would be gone. Grandchildren would be gone. Their lives and the people that they touch, it would be gone. Never happened. And in that timeline, that's what happened. They were never born. That's the difference in the timelines. And I ceased to exist way back in the 90s. Weird, isn't it? But I'm positive that was the end of me that day, because I got that. You better look up. I looked up, and it saved my life. But there's plenty of times, with as hard-headed as I am, that I would have ignored that voice and just said, "Hell." If I would have hesitated for 2 seconds, I'd have been gone, dead. There's no way I would have survived that crash. No way. You know, life. It's weird. There are those that believe that we never die. And maybe that's the immortality part of it. That we just keep going on and on and on. And every time that we die, it's in another timeline. And you go on in this timeline. I don't know. People see you die, and that's their timeline. You died. Everybody around me back in the 90s would have been, oh, he's dead. And they would have gone on. They split. But in this time, I know seeing people go, oh, he's still alive. Where would it end? How often does that happen? And you won't ever know if you die or not, because how would you know if you're still alive? I don't. It's very, very complicated. It's very weird, but it's kind of like that's the one theory that I'm kind of like really, really believe that one. I believe that's a thing, man. That's a thing. I'm a smoker. I don't drink alcohol, but I smoke cigarettes. I want to smoke a cigarette, but I know I'm not supposed to smoke on doing these videos. So I'm going to shut this video off so I can have a cigarette, and I'll come back later, man. God, I really need to stop that too. It's killing me. You hear me cough every now and then. It's, I know it. I know I need to quit. Hey, there's a timeline somewhere where I don't smoke at all. Never have. Nice. I'll bring that one in. Oh, I had some dreams last night. God. I can remember them for just bits and pieces of them for just a very split second when I first wake up, and then boom, they're gone. I hate that. I really do. I want to know everything. Yeah, we all do. We all want to know everything, right? And I want to know what the heck's going on over there. But before I went to bed last night, I said I want to pull in the greatest of my lives. If I'm living a life out there where I don't know, God knows what, but I'm doing very well. Financially, physically, my health is good. That's what I want to bring into this life. That's the life I want to live here. And I think with this meditation, call it, positive affirmations really work, because that's what's talking. You're talking to yourself. You're talking. You're programming yourself. Whatever you believe will become your reality. That's why I say reject people who have negative comments about you or your life or your family or your pets, or like, everyone's different. Some people will be, they're just prone to being negative. Get them out of your life. Sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes they're a part of your life, and you can't do anything about it. But work with them and try to bring them up and let them see that it's better to be positive, and why it's better to be positive. Some people are just negative because their life has been so just. Trust me, I know. I could sit here and just be a negative Nelly all day long because my life has been rough, dude. I'm sure yours has. I mean, again, as like I've told you before in other video, where I'm going up and down, up and down, up and down, changing personalities, going from an extremist in this sense to a pacifist. Just it's insane. It's insane, and that caused me to have an extremely difficult life. Very difficult. So I've hid away. I'm pretty much a recluse, like borderline agoraphobic, because of the things I went through. And because of my beliefs in the multiverse, and my beliefs in the different, and how they can affect this one, and how we can, it almost makes me not want to go out the house. And I will go out, and like I say, everybody should get outside, and I'm talking to myself. I want to go out more. I want to be more sociable. But it's really hard. It's difficult, especially when you really know what's out there. What's really waiting for you. What could possibly happen. It's sometimes it's better just to I feel like it's just better to be at home, and being not really having to work or do anything for 5 years. Last 5 years, I've really become just a homebody here at the house. I don't really do anything because there's an underlying feeling of dread within me. I've seen so much, experienced so much pain, trauma. Obviously, if you believe in all the PTSDs and all, I've been diagnosed with all that stuff, bipolar, all that kind of stuff. Again, reject it all. I'm trying. It's hard. Reject it and go on. You ever know some people say, I'm no good at that, or I don't like that, or I can't do that, or I'm no good. I just don't really. You know why most of that is? It's because of what they were told when they were young, what they grew up believing. You know, one of my ex-wives thought she was allergic to seafood. Well, her mother was insane. You know, sorry, she wasn't insane. She was just, it's hard to explain. Some people are just like, oh, worry, worry, worry. And I think she had a reaction to seafood when she was young, very young. It probably wasn't to the seafood. But from that point forward, they said, you're allergic to seafood. You can't ever eat seafood. So she got this whole thing about seafood in her mind, like, I can't eat seafood. I hate seafood. Seafood will kill me. I love seafood. And after we were married, I told her, allergies change. They come, they go. Your body changes. Your chemistry changes. I used to have severe allergies when I was young. My eyes, it would just puff up and scratch, itchy. It's not so much that way anymore. Hardly ever do, My body changed. Or I just don't believe in it anymore. Whatever. And I tried to get her, I finally got her to try some seafood. And she was like, ooh, I like that. I said, you didn't break out. You're fine. You don't have an allergic reaction to seafood. They told you that. I said, did they get you checked by a doctor? She said, no. You had a reaction one time to God knows what. Maybe you drank something. Who knows, man? Maybe a bug bit you. And then your mom was quick to say, you're allergic to seafood. You believed it, and you went by it your whole life. Oh, I don't like seafood. I hate seafood. Da, 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 da. Try it. I finally got her to try it. Turns out she'd never had an allergy. I don't think she ever had. Or her body changed, but I don't think it's that. I think she just never really had a react. I don't think she was ever allergic to seafood. Turns out she likes seafood. Well, certain seafoods. Because of how she had grown up, she still really just preferred not to mess with seafood. It's because of what you're told, man. Stop believing what people tell you. I'm telling you, people are they're full of it, man. And a lot of times people try to project their negativity on you. Don't buy that. You're your own God. You're your own religion. You're your own person. Make up your own reality. Tell yourself, I'm not allergic to seafood. In fact, I'm not allergic to anything. In fact, I'm going to live forever. Because in essence, we all are. We're all immortal. If we're God, we're immortal. And the thing about saying that you're God, it tells us that we all came. We're part of God. We're part of that. So if you want to look at it that way, you can. It's all of us together in a collective as the consciousness of the universe. If you want to look at it that way, you can. Or you can just say God. And just remember, that's just a word we gave. I mean, it's not, they're just words that we attach meanings to. The bottom line is we're the creator. This is all our doing. This is all our doing. And if you ever really are honest with yourself and you look at what's going on out there in society, you look at what other people do, you may shake your head and say, oh, I'd never do that. Be honest with yourself. Dig deep. A lot of it's the way you would have made it if you're honest. A lot of it are the same mistakes you would have made. The same things you would have done if you were put in that position. You did. You did it. We all did it. We've all done it. Circumstances lead us to sometimes bad decisions and sometimes good decisions. It's up to you if you're going to make the right decision or the wrong decision. If you're sitting there today thinking about, man, I'm hurting for money, it's Christmas time, I'm going to go hit a lick. Don't do it. Don't do it. Go to a church, talk to somebody. Maybe they'll help you out. You'd be surprised. Pray. I know. You're praying to yourself as your God, right? Hmm? Helps. It really does. You have to believe in something. Believe in God. Believe in yourself. Because you're one. Change your reality with your mind. Think positive thoughts. Think about how wonderful the world really is. Don't think about how negative the world. Don't think about what's going overseas and in the Middle East and over in Israel. That's horrible. I get it. There's still a war raging on over there in Russia, still attacking the Ukraine, and Ukraine's still attacking. You know, we don't hear that much about it anymore. We have very short attention spans. The media tells us what the government really kind of tells them to tell us. Like it's kind of propaganda. They let you know what they want you to know. They put their own slant on things. Obviously, they ignore it. Just ignore it. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm not saying don't have feelings for people who are obviously in great. I get that. I do too. When I saw the hospital, you know, it's rough and it's harsh. But pray and think in your mind that it's going to be over soon and that they're all going to get along. If you see on the news or you see anybody comment on it, they say, oh, this war's been going on for over 100 years. They're not ever going to stop. It's a religious thing. They're never going to, I've said it, they're never going to change. They're always going to be, don't do that. Let's all get together and think that war will be over in the next week. If we did that, that would become the reality of this world. We shape the reality of this world together as a consciousness, as a collective. That's why they show you the videos of the UFOs. That's why they show you the videos of the aliens. That's why they show you all the videos of the violence going on. So you will see it, accept it, and go, that's the way the world is. That's not the way the world is. Most violence and fighting and things that you see are in small little areas of the world. We're not in a world war yet. I pray we never are again. If we keep thinking that we're going to get there, if we keep expecting to get there, then we probably will. If we think they're going to nuke us, if we all collectively start thinking and worrying about it and thinking, oh my gosh, I think they're going to, China or Korea, they're going to throw something at us soon. That's probably what's going to happen. Stop thinking that way. Stop thinking negatively. Think positively. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Somebody I really like used to say that to me. Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small stuff. A lot of people say, well, that's not small. Are you fighting? Are they bombing your house? It's small. It's not. You don't even know for sure that it's really happening. All you know is what you see on the news. We're not there. We're not seeing it firsthand. I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm not. But there are different realities. There's different realities. Wish for a better one. You know, I'm not going to make the same mistake that old boy made about saying that there's actors and that were, Alex Jones when he did that, and he got in a lot of trouble for that. Don't sue me for millions of dollars because I said it's not happening. I'm not saying it's not happening. I know people are dying. I get that. I see it. But that means I have to accept it when I see it for it to become part of my reality. And all I'm saying is that sometimes it's better just to go outside and look around and go, I don't see any bombs dropping. I don't see any chemtrails. The air is fresh. Everybody around me is happy. That's your reality. That's where you're at. Appreciate that. Enjoy that. Cling to that. You and your family and their loved ones, cling to all that. And believe in what you want to believe in. Don't believe in what other people tell you. Don't believe what the media shows you. Just reject it all. Just reject it. reject it, or don't even watch it. Just enjoy your life, is all I'm trying to say. And if we all together as a collective, you know, start believing that this is the way the world is, it's the way the world's going to be, it will slowly start to change. And we'll notice wars like what's going on over in, it'll just fade away. They'll stop. The fighting will stop. You're feeding into it is what you're doing. That's what I'm saying. You're feeding into the negativity. When you watch it, you comment on it, you talk about it. You see these UFO videos, clearly most of them are CGI'd or manipulated in some way or whatever. Just say, that's ridiculous. I don't believe it. I reject it because it's negative. Televangelists. Oh gosh, don't get me started on that. I'm gonna blow. Yeah, not like it. Come on, man. Stop giving televangelists all that money, please. Keep that money to yourself. Please. Put it in your pocket. You're not gonna get rich by giving televangelists money. The prosperity thing, no. That's complete BS. That's one man preaching you to make himself rich. That's all that is. Wake up, people. You know, if you want to do good and you really want to be prosperous, there is a thing as karma, such a thing as karma. And you take that money, if you're going to give it to that church or to that televangelist, send him $100. Why don't you take that $100 down to the street? Go out, find somebody that really needs it. Go to a woman's shelter. Go to whatever you got to do and donate it there. So you can see your money working. So you can give it to somebody on the street that needs it. I've done that many times. Just hand somebody some money. Do that when they're clearly in need. Stop giving your money to the churches, the televangelists, the people that are just getting rich. If you can see the church as a multi-million-dollar establishment, the pastor is driving a whatever, a BMW, a Porsche, a Jaguar. Use your head, man. That's not right. And God does want us to be all prosperous. You're God, I'm God. We want to be prosperous. We want each other to be prosperous. That's true. But we're not going to, it's not the way to do it. Giving your money away to a church so somebody else can be rich is not going to bring you money. It's just not. It's common sense. Think. Use your noodle. Stop listening to what other people tell you. Stop listening to these. Oh my gosh. I kidded about this. I was going to be a cult leader. Start my own cult. Trust me, I could do it. It's not hard. People are gullible. Y'all are gullible, man. Y'all won't believe anything and follow anything. Stop. If you like my videos, don't donate money to me. Take that money somewhere else and donate to somebody that really needs it. I mean, guys, anybody that's up there saying, hey, donate this, send this, go to my, what do they call that thing? Patreon. And no, get it. I get it. You know, if this is all you do and you want to, and you're making money at it and you want to support somebody, it's like, that's great. That's great. But as far as like, well, come on over here. Hey, how you doing this morning? Don't give it to give it to people that need it. That's all I'm saying. And, you know, I can tell you this much. If somebody gave me a lot of money, I wouldn't, and I wouldn't go buy a big, huge house or a Porsche. If I was, you got to put the money back into in the street. There's nothing wrong with these televangelists having a nice, I don't know, $500,000 home. But when you're talking about $35 million homes, private planes that cost, oh gosh, don't get me started, $50, $100 million for a plane, and that's where your donations are going, that's evil, bro. That's pure evil. That man can fly just the same as the rest. He's no better than you. He can fly. You know who I'm talking about, dude. I don't even have to mention his name. He makes me sick. It really makes me sick to see things like that. And I saw the ego. And there's another thing about me. I have what's called discernment, and I can immediately look at somebody before they open their mouth and tell you if they're full of it or not. I just have that ability. And I haven't seen really any televangelists that impress me much. That I would say, oh, he's for real. No. Some of them preach a good message. I grant you that. But they're full of it, man. I mean, you may get a lot from their message, but that doesn't mean that you have to give them money. It really doesn't. I mean, unless they're putting it back into the ministry. If you can clearly see that it's going back into the ministry, it's okay. But when they have multiple cars, big homes, private jets, are you an idiot? Do you really believe that's what God wants? Prosperity? Yeah, but there has to be a limit, man. You don't have to have $75,000 a year. That's a comfortable living for most people. You really don't need any more than that. And anything else, once it goes above that mark, it doesn't really help you become any happier. What it does is it just gives you a bunch more money to buy a bunch of distractions, to get a whole bunch of distractions in your life. That's all it is. You know, I used to be the same way. I had multiple cars. I lived in a big house on the ocean was right there. My sailboat was down the street, parked at the marina, and I had a bass boat in the yard on a trailer, and I had 3 jet skis. So, 3 motorcycles, multiple vehicles, all nice and new. I lived in one of the most prosperous. I mean, I had doctor, a lawyer. That's who lived around me. And you know what they did? They complained to the city that I had too many vehicles, that it was looking junky. They were all brand new vehicles. They were all like within a year or two old. They were all new. How is it junky? Jealousy, man. Jealousy. And those are doctors and lawyers. They're being jealous of me and my toys. What the hell, dude? I didn't need all that. I didn't need all that. Why did I need a Jeep Wrangler? Brand new Jeep Wrangler sitting and I had an FJ Cruiser. And I'm running around in that, and the Wrangler just sat in the yard. I hardly ever use it. I got a brand new Harley Ultra, and it's just sitting there. I'm not even using it. I got 3 more motorcycles, and one of them I use. The other ones are just sitting there. I did a lot of bartering at the time on Facebook. I did a lot of bartering at the time. So a lot of it was just a trade for news. But why that became my, it was like a drug, man. It's exciting. I like bartering. I like trading things for, we all like getting new stuff, new shiny toys. You can't take it with you. None of it. You can't take any money with you. None of it. You'll get one suit to be buried in. If you're cremated, they burn that up. So, really, what are we working so hard for? Really, all you should be concerned with is being comfortable in your life and your family. And after that, the rest kind of can cause problems. Once you reach over 100,000 a year, it gets complicated. Then you start seeing, oh, I got so much money, I can do this and I can do that. And for me, well, I won't even go into it, but it leads to money attracts, And when somebody sees you drive up in a convertible Porsche and you get out and you're dressed sharp and everything, girls, women, if you have a good wife at home, it can sometimes lead you to go astray. Because, like I said, money attracts, and women come to you. They do. They flock to you like, man, get out of here. So be careful. Sometimes it's better just to stop while you're ahead. Keep going with it, then you're going like, oh, God, what am I going to do? Let's go party. Let's go drink. Let's go buy drugs. Let's do this. Let's go buy sports cars. Let's go really fast. Let's get a bunch of motorcycles. Let's get 2 or 3, have 2 or 3 affairs. I had multiple properties. I had lots of places I could store women. You want a free apartment? Here, I'll put you in an apartment. Give you this, give you that. Oh, you want one too? Here, I'll do that for you too. Here's a car. Man, I'm telling you, having a lot of money. Why do you think the people like you see, like the Harvey Weinsteins that abuse their power? Those people, because they've got so much money and power, they think that they have the right to do that, and they don't. They don't have the right to do that to anybody. But money, that's what money does for you. That's why you see all these stars. How many stars do you know that have made a lot of money that have really ever done anything worthwhile in their life? How many have you really seen that have gone down the bad path, that have, ruined their lives through drugs and alcohol and wrecks and whatever? They just mess up their whole lives because they've got so much money, they don't know. Let's get another tattoo. Let's just get another tattoo. What are we going to do? They get bored. When you've got so much money, you don't really have to work for it. You get bored. And you start looking for other things that you probably shouldn't look for. Because you can do it. You think you can do anything. That's why people have a lot of money, think they're invincible, and they can break the law. Because they got enough money to get out of it. I got out of some things simply because I had money, because of my position, because I was connected with the court systems and judges and people knew me. I went through that. I've had some situations where I called in favors, and I was small time compared to. So whenever I see somebody abuse their power, it's got a lot of money. It never surprises me. Most people do. Most people do that have a lot of money. Rarely do they do the right thing with it. People are selfish and greedy. That's the bottom line. Selfish and greedy. I'm going to live about 75, 80 years. And that's it. And then they're gone. And somebody else gets their money to be selfish and greedy with it. It's crazy. Look, I'm going to end it here. I've been rambling and babbling and blah, 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 blah. And I guess that's what this channel is going to be about. It's me just babbling and trying to help everybody and tell people like the way I see it. I know some people are going to say, well, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's cool, man. It doesn't. You really can't affect me. I mean, hey, be quiet in there. You got to catch them quick. If I hear a little subtle growl, means one of them's kind of like stepped over the other one or gotten a little close to him, and then I have to tell him to stop, and they go, okay. But if I don't tell him to stop, I guess their mind goes, well, he's not around, and I can do what I want to do, and I can attack this other dog. Yeah, I don't put up with that. I'm trying so hard to get them out of that. It's easier said than done. But they're coming around. The fights used to be much more frequent. Now, fairly infrequent. I might have one a month. Used to, it was like weekly. So it's gotten better. I had 2 pit bulls. And they died 8 months apart. I had one for 8 years and one for 10 years. I loved them both so much, and when they passed away, it left a hole in my heart. And that's how we ended up with 5. Trying to fill that hole. I love them all. I love them, and I can't get rid of one of them now. I've got 5. So I have to work really. We have to do what we have to do to make it work. Because we did that. We took them. There's no way. I don't even know. I don't want to say anything bad about it. I mean, it's not. I'm like you. I'm opinionated. We all are. We form our opinions. I think rehoming an animal, the right circumstances are for, you just can't. I mean, I get it. But to give up on an animal just because you have to keep working with them. And if you love them, rehoming one is heartbreaking. And I don't like having my heart broken. So rehoming the most aggressive one is not the answer. And there is one that's more aggressive than the rest. And he's kind of taken over as the dominant. and I'm working with him. He's still a young dog, maybe a year and a half old, so a little over a year, year and 3 months. So I'm like, I've got to keep working. I can't give up on him no more. I don't want people giving up on me. I don't want people giving up on you, on us. I don't want to give up on him either. I'll go into later my idea about animals, souls, who they are, what they are really. Are they us? Yeah, they are. We're everything. We live as everything. We have to experience it. From a tree to a plant to a cockroach. That one sucks. But that's why their life expectancy is so short. Because if you get, you have to live that life, but it's short. So it's a horrible existence, but it goes by quick. Animals sometimes have their lives rough, but they have short lifespans. The way I look at it is with an animal, a dog's average lifespan is 12 years to 15. 12, really. And you're lucky if you get anything beyond that. And they're not here on this earth long enough to be mistreated or to be maligned in any way. You have to take care of them and make their lives as comfortable as possible and show them as much love as you can, because they're not here that long. It's heartbreaking to me how long a dog's life or a cat's life is, or an animal, period. But what are you going to do? Adopt a sperm whale that'll live 300 years, or a big turtle that'll live a couple hundred? It's not my thing. It's like snakes. Not my thing, bro. If that's your thing, great. More power to you, but keep the snakes away from me. I don't want. And I can handle snakes. I'm not scared of nothing. I'll handle spiders, whatever. But it's not my thing. I don't want that. A big reptile. I used to have a friend that had these monitor lizards. I mean, good. Why? Where do you? I used to know one guy. I ran into him. He was one of my tenants, and he would walk around with this big lizard on a. He would walk it like a dog. He built this thing in the apartment that for him to climb up on, and I had to go in and look at it because it was. He asked me, "Is it okay if I do this to the apartment?" And I looked at it and I said, "Oh, all right. As long as when you take it down, you leave, that you feel kind of help me out." And he's like, "Okay." But really, it's just I never understood that. That's a cold-blooded animal. It's just not really a loving thing. But if that's your thing, that's great. I'm not into that. That's not my thing. I used to not be into dogs. I used to, and I've got 5 pit bulls. Again, the many personalities of Miko. I flipped somewhere along the way. Some people go, "Oh, you just grew up and you changed." Yeah, to a degree. But I believe that there's there was a flip in there. There was a jump. And it's a long story, but my dog Icon is the one that taught me at the lowest point. He's passed away now. But that pit bull taught me really how to love. I didn't even know that I was capable of love back then. I was going through a really down time in my life. And that pit bull brought me out of it. So I love animals and I love pit bulls. And I love all dogs. They all have personalities and souls. They're all different. I grew up, my mother used to tell me, she was she was really religious when she was young, and she went to what's called holy rollers. She was a holy roller. I think they deal with snakes and handle snakes and all that kind of thing. This is when she was young. But her belief was is that animals, she was taught that animals don't have souls. She taught me that when I was young. She was wrong. She's definitely wrong. It's funny what our parents tell us, that it's just what they were taught. And yeah, she's definitely wrong about that. They have souls. They have different personalities, don't they? You ever meet 2 dogs that are exactly alike? 2 cats? They all have their own individual personalities. That means they have their own souls. That means they're us. We're all one. They're part of the collective. They're part, they're God too. We're all God. We're all the creator. And so are they. And they're trying to create their own reality in their minds. They want a happy life too. All right, that's all I'm going to do. I can't, let me put my glasses on. I can't see. I've been at this almost an hour of rambling. I guess I should chop this up, edit it, because most of it is just me rambling. But my friends say, my family says, that's okay. Just get on there and talk. Tell them how you feel. And I'm like, oh, so it's going to be like a vlog or something, like where I just talk. They're like, yeah. We all look for something. I mean, I could do those videos. I love the little videos, what do they call them? The reaction videos. I used to think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. You're watching somebody else watch somebody else that might be watching somebody else do a video and react to it. It's the easiest way to do anything, really. But then I guess this might be the easiest way. Just sitting here talking, The reaction videos, I could do those all day long and probably nitpick apart all the crazy BS out there. But then that puts me in a mold of a person that's just like negative. And I don't want to be that. Because I can tell you, and it's negative to say, I guess, but all 99% of the stuff you see on YouTube is complete, utter lunacy. It's ridiculous. Use your mind, use your common sense, and you'll realize that it's for entertainment purposes only. Well, this is for life-changing purposes. If you gather something from this, then please, by all means, drop a line, subscribe, do whatever you do what you do. You're not going to hurt my feelings either way. I realize all I'm doing is sitting here talking. But again, this will be a record for I have a lot of kids and grandkids. And one day they're probably going to want to know, who the hell was that dude? What was he like? Because some of them are living on other parts of the country, and they're not around me, and they don't maybe not know. So at least they'll know kind of where I was coming from, what my thoughts were, and maybe one day somebody will be like, oh, now I understand why he was the way. Oh, now I understand that's what he went through. And through this video, I'll tell stories and I'll tell things in my life. I've got lots of stories because I'm old as dirt. So I've got lots of cool stories. I used to run with the cartels, and I used to be a big time. I moved a lot of, I moved some weight, back in the day, and offshore and cigarette boats and the whole 9 yards, like Miami Vice back in the 80s. I know my girl's always amazed to hear me tell those stories and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. It was a thing back then. The 80s was wide open, man. You could get by with a lot more in the 80s. There was no internet. There was no, nobody running around with a phone in their hand, recording everything you did. So you could get by with a lot more. I could also tell people anything. Back in my day, lying was an art. It was called the con. If I told you that this diamond ring is worth $20,000 and it's an awesome day. It's a family heirloom. It used to belong to Queen Victoria, and it was handed down. And you'll look at it and go, wow, that's cool. How much you want for it? $20. No, well, sure. I mean, what I'm saying is that you had no way of checking it out. You had to believe me. And if I put a big enough story on it, you'd believe me. Nowadays, people can just check that shit out right away on their phone. Like, oh, you're full of it, dude. That's not true. But back in my day, it was an art. Yeah, conning people, lying. That was kind of a respected art, man. Nowadays, everybody's like crying because they're lying to me. They lied. They don't, do you really deserve the truth? Do you really blame people for lying to you? I mean, people are like, why won't they tell me the truth? The cops always get mad when you don't tell them the truth. You're not supposed to tell them the truth. That's not your job. Their job is to find out. It amazes me the amount of people that go into an interrogation room and just spill the beans. Why do the crime anyway if you're going to go in there and tell on yourself, you fool? It's craziness. But yeah, I can go on for days, the things I've seen. But and I probably will. Uh, this is a long video. I don't even know if I'll put this one out there. But it is what it is, and I spent an hour rambling. 1 hour and 22 seconds. That's outrageous, isn't it? All right. Y'all have a good one. Peace. It didn't turn it on. It's not working.